Hi there, welcome back to the Tech Choice Bootcamp, the UI UX design track. And this is module 6 where we'll be talking about planning and mapping. In this module, we'll be talking about user journey maps and site maps. And I'll be giving tips on how to create these things. First off, we'll start with a user journey. What's a user journey? A user journey is the total experience of a user when interacting with your product. A user journey is a path a user may take to reach their goal when using a particular website. User journeys are used in designing websites to identify the different ways to enable the user achieve their goals as quickly and as easily as possible. User journeys are the step-by-step journey that a user takes to actually reach their goal. This journey often consists of a number of website pages and decision points that carry the user from one step to another. Then, a user journey map is a diagrammatic representation of the user journey. Okay, these are tools you can use to create a journey map. You can use your pen, your conventional pen and paper, Extensia, Stories on Board, Overflow, and Mirror. Then the benefits of a user journey map. A user journey map helps you to think logically about the experience you would like to create for new users, understand the experience for existing users, and it will also help you identify opportunities to improve the experience of all users in general. So creating a user journey map involves few steps, which is the first step is to identify the task to be completed by the user, then create a user flow, then identify actions and interfaces. So I'll be explaining this one by one and I'll be giving examples. The first step is identify the task. This is identifying the specific process you are creating the map for. Okay, we'll pick a task from the high impact and low complexity quadrant from the previous video of the seller's features, which is a seller is creating or adding a new item to our online store. So that we have identified the task. Then the next thing is to create a user flow. A user flow is the path taken by a prototypical user on a website app to complete a task. The user flow takes them from their entry point through a series of steps towards a successful outcome and final actions, such as purchasing a product, in our case, uploading a product for sale. So a user flow is a diagrammatic representation of the user journey using a flowchart. To create a user flow, we need to identify the entry point, that is the ways the user access the product or features, and the end goal, which is the end game of the flow. For example, sign in success, view of the home page, or payment confirmation. Okay, one more thing about user flow. A user flow is a visual representation, either written or made digitally, of the many avenues that can be taken when using an app or a website. The flow chart begins with the consumers or the user's entry point on the product, like an onboarding screen or home page, and ends with the final action or outcome, like purchasing a product or uploading a product or signing up for an account. Depicting this process allows designers to evaluate and optimize the user experience and therefore increase client conversion rates. So, more so, to create a user flow, we need to identify the steps required to complete a goal, that is the vital steps and the sequence in which these steps will occur, and prompts that guide the users to the next step or action. Okay, so this is an example where we have the entry point in red, the end goal in green, and the prompt in purple. The entry point is opening the app in our case. Then the end goal is successful successful picking of the product you want to buy. Then the prompts are the buttons you click to go to the next page, like next, next, submit, and all of that. Right, now we move to the third step in user journey mapping, which is identifying actions and interfaces. An action is the desired task the user wants to complete, while the interface is the product artifact the user interacts with. For example, the action might be to log in or sign up, while the interface which the user interacts with is the form fields. It is also important to identify the channels, that is, platforms where the actions take place. For example, is it on the mobile app or USSD or a browser, and so on and so forth. It might be a click on your wristwatch, your Apple wristwatch or something. Then it's also important to identify the experience of the user during this process. Were they happy, confused, frustrated, indifferent? You can assume this when you're creating the user journey for the first time. Okay, so I want to give an example of a user journey map. The task here, or the action the person wants to complete, is the seller wants to create or add a new item to the store. So this table is showing the different actions, interfaces, channel, and experience which the person has. So the action the person takes is opening the mobile app. So what interface? The mobile app icon, that's what the person clicks, and the channel is on a mobile phone. I hope we understand. Then the step 2 is login or sign up, which is the action the person wants to complete. Then the interface is the form field, and like that to up until the 12th step, which is the success. And from this, our interface is the go to the store button. Like after you have set up your product for sale, you go to this, there's a button for go to the store button. There's a button for go to the store, my bad. Then the channel is still through the mobile app. Now we'll move to the sitemap. What is a sitemap? A sitemap is a hierarchical diagram representing the information architecture of a product. It is the diagrammatic representation of an hierarchical system. It usually depicts the parent-sibling relationship between pages in a website, showing how sub-pages might be arranged underneath their parent groupings. This arrangement forms a map of the site. Okay, sitemaps as a design project deliverable are documents that demonstrate the navigation layout and the organization of content within. Okay, the tools you can use to create a sitemap is still your conventional pen and paper, draw.io, Figma, and Mirror. You see how important Mirror is. So the benefits of a sitemap helps the designer to show the relationship between different pages. Yes, it also helps the designer to understand the structure of the product, and it also helps to eliminate redundant pages. So now we'll go into creating a sitemap. Sitemaps can be created by literally anyone. All you need are blocks and lines that connect them, like you can see on the right. Then I'll give tips on creating a sitemap. The first tip is you have to begin with the home page or a landing page and identify other pages it connects to. Another tip is to organize these pages into tiers or segments based on the interaction hierarchy. Yeah. For example, the landing page is higher in hierarchy than the login page because the login page is accessed via the landing page. Yeah, so this is showing you an example of a sitemap. 0.0 is the landing page, which is subdivided into the login page or the sign up page or the register page. Another tip is to minimize the steps taken to complete a task or process. This is very good for user experience. You reduce the number of clicks a user has to make before he completes his task, so that you'll be able to retain the user on your website or your app, not making a simple step go through a long process. Then another tip is you need to update your sitemaps regularly. Okay, now this is a major example of a sitemap. You saw fragments of it in like a minute ago, where we have the landing page as the top, which is the first page. Then it's now subdivided into the login page and the sign up page. All right, and I gave a tip of um, dividing your pages into tiers or segments. So I've divided this feature into three segments, which is, first off is the authentication segment. Tier 2 or the segment 2 is the store segment, where you can access the store, you create your store, and you see other stores, right? Then the tier 3 is the item creation, which is the main segment where the seller is going to use, which is you add the item page, upload a photo, title page, description of the item, type of item, condition of the item, then you pick the color page and success and the summary. Okay, success is the final page. You set the price, then you get a summary page of all the data you have imputed in a success page. So this is how a sitemap looks like, and that brings us to the end of module 6. The next module we'll be talking about is sketching, and that will be all from me. Thanks and bye. See you in the next video.